Okay, Patreon friends, here we go with the third session of this target. Just a quick recap here. This was a target Dustin Newcomb set up. Target was to describe this event that is depicted in the Sanskrit book, the Mahabharata, in which the king of Salwa fighting Krishna in their flying machines called the Subha Vimanas. That was the target. The task for the viewer, who was me, was to describe the event and the technology. Okay. So, as I'm doing my research, let me put this over here. What I don't want to do is get the story from this fellow. And the reason is nothing against this fellow. But the reason is I'm not wanting to get my research from this. I don't want to get my information from this guy who is intoxicated, whose mind has been taken over by this idea. There's a lot of drama in here and stories. I'm not interested in those stories. I'm interested in what happened. Let's go over session 3. I did find this is a pretty decent little biography here about Krishna. And we'll go into why I'm looking at Krishna. Okay, so this is the third session. Describe the target. Basic cueing. Am I in the right session here? Okay. This is some proprietary stuff here that I'm working on. I'm developing a proprietary system. Some of the stuff is based on what I experienced in the Pi sessions. So here I am. I go into this session, and I'm at this location. And at the location, I felt was target related. Now when we go to the tasking here, a lot of the variables that I was being asked to look at was geographical things. Okay, so here I am. I'm at the location. Something interesting here. Turn this back. Okay, some ideas. Beefy, built strong, built up iron. Something about the word strong that relates to the target. And I was getting this idea of a Viking. Like that way of life. And again, we're talking about the battle here between these two people or between these two characters. This idea like a different time, like I'm in a different time, a different way of life felt very foreign to me. Very different time, very different way of life. Okay, that was interesting to me. Move to what is most interesting about this time or way of life and describe it. And I'm in the past. I'm going back into the past. where people lived in villages and there were stonemasons and things like that. This was a time when people lived in villages and walked on paths like that. This was an old, I'm back in the past. Move to what is most interesting to me at this location. Something is going on here. This is where it gets interesting. Ideas, way of life. The air is clean, the water is clean. People have shorter lifespans. They live in clans and families. They're beholden to being part of a family or a clan. India is still that way. They have a caste system there. But one of them stood out. One stands out. And I got these ideas that this person had a different opinion, that they were separate from the tribe. This is my anchor right here for this whole project. Oops, not that one yet. This was the first thing that caught my interest in this project. This was the second, and this was my anchor point. This individual here, who's separate from everybody else. What separates this one from the tribe? They were a different thinker. They vibrated differently, and that the others have difficulty dealing with it. This person vibrates differently than these people do, or the rest of the people. This one is very, very different. They vibrate differently. Different, they think different. What do they think? My curiosity is triggered, and I'm going into curiosity mode here. What do they think? Different relationship. Science? Can't relate to others. An oddball. They're out of place and possibly out of time. From a different time? Is this a time traveler? This level of difference causes this person a lot of problems. They have majestic thoughts, not groupthink. I'm curious. Move to this person's most interesting perspective and describe. And there was a studying here. The study of nature and the nature of things, mysteries of nature, patterns of nature. How it all fits together. They see patterns that others can't. Because of this, life is different for them. Is this target the person or what the person did? I'm asking. This person sees patterns. They have old dress, old clothes. It's like they wear capes or something like that. Old clothes. This person is very, very different. This was an interesting session. Because of the way that I was perceiving this person to be, that they had a hard time. Where was that? It was that they were so different. It caused them some problems. So as I'm wanting to learn, now that I got my feedback, okay, well, this person is interesting. I go further into this, but who is this person in relation to the target? Is this Krishna, or is this king of Salwa? I don't know. I'm not sure yet. But this was interesting because I want to look up some stories about Krishna. So I looked on his biography online, and this is a perspective that is not so dramatic, or like this, where they deal with the fantasy here of it. The Hollywood version, I'll call it, with all due respect, the Hollywood version. This is an interesting perspective. Krishna was born in northern India, approximately 3200 BC. His birthing marked the passing of a certain age into a new age. Krishna was born in prison to devout parents. At the time of his birth, his life was in danger because the tyrant Kamsa was seeking to kill him. It had been fortunate that Kamsa would be killed by somebody else, since Sri Krishna was the eighth child. He was smuggled out of prison to be raised by foster parents. And then there's some other things here about killing demons and other things here. So this here seems like this could be closer to the truth. And so when I'm looking at that and I'm going back over this, that this person was different, and because he was different, it caused him problems, that brings me to thinking that this may be Krishna that I'm perceiving here. Okay. I wanted to explore that more. I took a break, I came back. I wanted to explore this person more. They wore interesting clothes, like they wore capes or something like that, or a cloak. Interesting person. Move into what is most interesting to me about this person. This is a very individual person, a one of a kind. There's only one of these people. I got this idea of like a Rasputin, that they had a medallion around their neck, scholarly in their mind. I had this idea as part of a network. This person had influential friends or people in his inner circle, had access to books and libraries and these types of things, which in the past only certain people really had access to knowledge. This feels like a place of higher learning, doing lectures and speaking. In relationship to this person, traveling to distant places and learning. I got the idea about this person of how much can a person fit into one life? How much of a mark can someone leave? I get the feeling of this person being very aware of the amount of time they have to get done what they need to do. That's a very aware, very conscious person. It's like watching their life in fast forward, like a movie, using their life to leave an impression on the world. That type of person is living their life in a specific way so that history remembers them. They become part of history. This person was very aware of the mark they left on the world in history. This was a stage 7. This was like a voice in the head. I have this much time, I must do this. I have this much time, I have to get these things done. Like an effect on consciousness, strong will, they had a strong will. The feeling of mentally forcing in ideas. This person feels a bit forceful, lived out their life, left an impression. Okay, it's interesting. Move to the impression and describe, and I get the idea of an underworld, the world behind ours. This is reminding me of quantum physics, the world behind ours. That's a very interesting feeling. When this came through, this was the best way I could describe this feeling. What I experienced when I moved to the impression, move into the impression that this person was expressing, and I was in what I can only describe as the underworld or the world behind ours. I had to take a break and come back. This person, this is my anchor. This person is my anchor in the session. I could feel this person. I could experience this individual, and they were real. They were real. Not an idea like this. They were a person, a different kind of person, but a person. What did this person do to become so different than everyone else? Is what I take a break, I come back. I'm interested in this person. They walk alone. They leave people behind. This person feels like a different species, like they have different DNA or something. They're like a different species of person. I keep seeing this person as an individual. They are up front. They feel non-human in some way. This feels like the time travel aspect as well. So I'm all in. I'm all in. Because again, I'm going over this session and I feel very strongly that who this is, per this tasking, where is it? Per the tasking, is more than likely Krishna. Where is this person from? Now I'm interested now. Because where am I at now? I'm in an individual here who is like a different species. They have a different DNA. They're not human. They're a different species. And the idea that they may be a time traveler as well. Where is this person from? Move to the place of origin. Move to the place of origin and describe. Now, for the Patreons who are more scholared in the history of Krishna, maybe you may understand this more. It feels like it's back in time, and so we're going way back in time. Other people are like this person. I'm back where this person came from. They're the same type of people. They live in basic homes, primitive in some way, small houses. How do they live? I'm in this village here. They live a very relaxed feel, advanced knowledge of medicine and science. They're advanced, but they live very basically. This place it felt very good to me. I loved it. They're not divided. They're unified, like elders, older, mature people. Better relationship with time. Sophisticated people. Am I on a different planet? They have a better relationship with time. They're on a different planet. How did this person get to where they got? Meaning, how did they get here? This feels strange. But it's like a UFO or portal of some kind that was opened. They crossed through. I got the idea that they're living in two timelines. And this idea, which someone maybe who's familiar with the Krishna story, they brought something back. Is there an artifact of some kind related to Krishna? It might not. Maybe it's not from Earth, or carries something with a traveler. Use of a mechanism, something that gets them from here to there, and this is where we start going into this part of the storyline. It reminded me of like Tesla. This is AOL of the signal. It's like a Tesla type of person. I go through. This is my proprietary system of triggering my curiosity. This is what I can. This is my proprietary stuff. What type of mechanism? How does it work? Who built it? What does it do? How do you fire it up? What's it called? How old is it? Does it still work? These are basically the questions, a lot of the questions that were in the tasking. Let me find that. These were a lot of the questions that were in the tasking. The question variables are what these were. Is it like a gun? Does it fire? Goes along with the storyline here. How big is the blast? Is it inside of the blast? Is this the inner circle here? This was like a mad genius, this person. I got this idea, the proper opening of a hole, like a wormhole. The proper place, location is everything. Again, location is a big variable here in the tasking. These were ideas coming into my mind. Nature. Oh, wait. Let me go back here. This was a stage 7. This was a phrase coming into my mind. If you don't understand the fundamental elements of nature and what governs nature, you will not follow. I don't know the texts of Krishna or whatever the texts that are in that book, but those that do, maybe you can let me know if this is part of the doctrine in those texts. This feels like a lecture. There's a flow. It's electric. Fundamentals. These are like words coming into my mind. Fundamentals. This person may be a bit mad, but in a good way, the way that I like. I like people that are mad, crazy, geniuses. I like that. Got this idea of a time skip, a time jump. Did they have help? The answer feels like a yes, meaning this person was a time traveler. This person got from here to there, and how did they do it? And then I got this feeling it was alien. Back and forth in time. There was a time manager. This species here are time managers. Frequent. To frequent some place, bilocate. They have simplified it. Frequent is a word that I feel strongly is related to this species here. The sound of this word, the sound of it, frequent, somehow related to this species. These time managers. The idea here that came through is that these time managers assisted this individual here to get here. Meaning, if this is Krishna, Krishna had the assistance of another species to assist him to move to here, to come here. There is an out of this world feel to this part of the target. This part of the target. This is Earth. and this is their home. What is this? I'm wondering. This person comes from a different place. That is why they don't fit in. People cannot relate. This person is in an alien environment. They have different ideas, different tech, different science. This place is way more chaotic than home. What a mission they have, this person. Bring the science, bring the different thought patterns. This came through as like a stage 7, or like a mad ranting. This is a mad rant going on in my mind. What a mission. Bring the science, bring the different thought patterns, bring the base knowledge of the quantum world. Some will understand it and the rest will not, and that's too bad. This mad rant coming through from this person. My feeling, and typically I don't take a stance with my remote viewing work, but the intensity of what I experienced of this individual, based on what I was asked to look at, I feel strongly that this was Krishna. And I feel very strongly, based on my data, my experience with this remote viewing, that Krishna was a real person. And that Krishna, or the person who was called Krishna, probably wasn't called Krishna. Krishna is probably a title that was given to him to represent this individual. What their real name was, who knows? Who knows? But I think Krishna is probably the title they were given. But this person was a different species, and they came here from somewhere else, and they brought knowledge and information and all that kind of stuff. And they were assisted. They were assisted to get here. That's what the story is about. But without the drama of all this drama stuff going on. That this individual, Krishna, is from another planet. And they came here. And they brought stuff with them. And stories were made about them, about him or his group. And they made stories about him. My feeling about this story, about this battle and all that kind of thing, is that it to me there's a lot of Hollywood in this story, and I wonder if it was a story that they came up with that they could share with other tribes or clans or other villages or whatever, so that they would think that they had this great strength. They had access to this great power, and if somebody tried to invade them, they could easily kill them with the weaponry that they had. That's my feeling about this story. That's my feeling about that story. That this is the Hollywood version. This is the Hollywood version. Well, let me say about this guy. I don't want to insult this guy because he's dedicated. He's very dedicated. But he's intoxicated. He's intoxicated with this. This is him. This is him. He's intoxicated. With that frequency, which I think I went into here. He's in resonance. That's what I had in here. It was the resonance. I don't know, it's in here somewhere. Yeah. Transmission has resonance. The individual requires similar resonance to receive the transfer. And he has the resonance. You can see it in him. But it's from thousands of years of transmission. And so, in my feeling, based on my session, a lot of that has been altered down the line. And so you have to get through a lot of stuff to get to a baseline story of what happened, minus all the Hollywood here. This was something. I'm still moving through this, and again, it's because this individual, I can still feel this individual. This was my anchor into this project. I'm just sharing with you my experience. In my experience, this person is real. This person is real, a real person. But they're a different species, and hence being termed a god or a lord, given the title of Krishna, because of who he is, where he comes from, and there's more like him. There's more like him. This is whoever these are, the time managers. I will visit them again. I will visit them again, because I feel I know them. I feel I know them, and they know me. I will visit them again. So that's these side. There's more to come. I go further into some of this stuff here. So that's it for this round. Anybody in my Patreon who has some greater knowledge of the storyline, of the Krishna storyline, or of this with the King of Salwa, please comment on it. I appreciate all the comments. So that's it for this one. More to come, but we're about halfway through the project at this point. So many more to come, and thanks so much.